Hey guys, today I'm going to review for you an application that enables you to speed dial your favorite contacts from anywhere on your device. Let's check it out. XThunder1 posted an article on the XDA portal referencing an app called Draw2Dial. Now, this app was put together by XDA Forum Member FanKryations. This allows you to dial specific contacts anywhere on the desktop by initiating a drawing field. If we open up the thread, we just get a quick snippet of what the application essentially does, and it really is simple. It just does simply draw anywhere, anytime, and then you're able to contact anybody or launch the dialer and dial that specific contact. First thing we want to do is download and install the application on the device. Draw2Dial, download it from the App Store. It's actually pretty much the only app that's spelled out that way. The main thing you get when you first turn it on is that obviously it's an ad-supported application. Also, every once in a while you'll notice that this thing keeps popping up, and that's essentially the developer's way of making money off of this application. It's a small version of an app store that links you into two other applications that, anyways, are available. The main thing you want to keep in mind here, obviously, is you want to enable it. Enable it on boot so that every time you restart your device, it's running. And you can notice that the icon is sitting on the left side. So essentially, this is the trigger activation point. Tutorial just walks you through a video on YouTube on how to use it. Handwriting Test essentially is how you test which numbers it uses. Now, obviously, this says draw something. You have to be kind of pretty interesting. So you draw something again. If I do 1, so now there's 2, 3, and then so on. So it has to be kind of specific. Most of the time you end up going to be using your thumb. So those are the things you want to keep in mind. It tells you the version that it's running, obviously, in the credentials. You swipe to the left. This is where the interface is basically set up. The default setup here is not interfaced directly into your dialer. So if you have speed dial information that you already have built into your dialer, if you have shortcuts or anything using your other dialer, it doesn't work there. You have to set it up in here. So we'll go ahead and set up. I've already added a contact in here. You can name it whatever you want to. The phone essentially is the phone number, and the number is the number of the contact shortcut. The main thing is you can go in there, you can change it at any time. You can add all the way up, and then it says basically as far as the overall is any number you dial is what you get. The other thing you want to go in here is under settings. This is where you can customize the UI. You have 6 different options as far as what the actual icon looks like. You can change the size from small, medium to big. You also have the ability to change the brush size and the brush color, and that's essentially what that color is that you're doing here and drawing with it on the device. Other than that, the setup is pretty simple. You don't really have that much as far as settings in here, other than just getting in here, basically. That takes you into that last tab. And again, you can add multiple tabs and then set them up. Other than that, you just go home. And I left it with the slightly somewhat of a transparent shade. You don't have the ability of changing this position. You can't put it anywhere else. I assume hopefully this will be something that will be available in the future. The only reason I say that is because it's sitting on the far left part of my device. This is on a 4.7-inch display on an HTC One. That's not a problem. But let's jump into, let's say, a Note 3, and the device is even bigger at 5.7. So you're really in a very big kind of having to overreach to the far left. I find sometimes that it's better for me to be able to customize. Again, hopefully this will be in the future. We'll go ahead and launch it, and then we'll just draw 1, and it automatically takes us into the dialer, dials the number, gives us the information, and your normal usage. You can end the call. Installing and running the application is pretty simple. Download it, turn it on. You have to turn it on and then also turn it on boot, otherwise you wouldn't be able to access it again when you restart your device. Setting it up is pretty easy. You just go in there. There's a tutorial in there as far as how to use it. There's also a testing phase area where you're able to test your drawing skills using your thumb. 90% of the time you're going to be using this as a one-handed device, depending unless you're on a Note 3, then you might end up being on a two-handed device. You're able to customize the trigger point. Currently, the only location is in the middle on the left side. You either make it into obviously a phone little icon and change the size of it, or a little color palette. Overall, very nice. I prefer if they was able to build it on the right side or even customize the position of it, mostly because on the Note 3 I'm having a little bit of a hard time using it with one hand, which is overall I had no problem with it, except that just overreaching every time and having me kind of overhanding the thumb kind of going on. Main thing is it does work. Overall, you can customize the brush, the color, those are under settings, and the last thing you get the ability of doing here is the ability to customize how it interfaces with as far as the contacts. So you're adding them in there, and then you obviously have name, phone, and number. And you need to keep in mind, obviously, as I showed you on the device, is phone is the phone number that you need to add, and number is the number of the contact in the shortcut list that you're adding. Now, 2 things you want to keep in mind. First, it doesn't interact with your dialers, so your speed dials on your normal stock dialer are not interfaced with this. This is separate, this is custom.
Number two, the accuracy on this is a little bit hard. You have to kind of practice and it will get better. Every time I draw number 1 to be able to dial that speed, that test number I was trying to show you guys, like sometimes depending on where my finger is, if it's the number slightly slanted, the device thinks I'm starting to draw a 6, so it skipped it. But again, with practice, everything gets better. I like it. I find it very useful. It doesn't use a lot of space as far as what it tries to do. Let me know what you think. Like and subscribe to this channel, and then obviously like and subscribe to my channel. If you guys are in the US, happy Thanksgiving. Hope you guys are having a great day. Other than that, I will see you guys next Tuesday.